Let's just imagine for a second, you've poured your entire life into building a company. Now you're finally ready to sell, to reap the rewards of all that sweat and sacrifice. And then you get a call. Your whole business plan, all your secrets, the very thing that makes you special, it's just been posted on LinkedIn for the entire world to see. Now, this isn't just some crazy hypothetical, it's a true story. Today, we're going to break down this M&A disaster by listening in on a conversation between a completely panicked business owner and their M&A attorney. This is a huge cautionary tale, and it all starts with one frantic phone call. Okay, so to really get how bad this is, you got to see the difference between how a sale should work and, well, this one. On the left, that's the dream. A $10 million company sold using what's called a blind teaser strategy. It was so secret, so locked down, that the employees didn't even know until the deal was done. Perfect control, zero drama. Now, on the right, that's our nightmare. A buyer gets the full confidential business plan and just posts it on LinkedIn. Suddenly, the company's value, the team's trust, everything is totally at risk. So let's go right to that moment. The phone rings, it's the business owner, and they are, to put it mildly, freaking out. And there it is, the call that every single M&A attorney has nightmares about. The owner's worst fear is now a reality. All of it, the financials, the customer lists, the growth plans, it's all just out there. For competitors, for employees, for customers, for anyone to see. And the first question is always, always the same. What do we do now? The first thing the attorney has to do is stop the panic with a plan. You can just hear them saying, okay, just take a breath. We have a legal stop button for this exact situation. It's a part of the California Civil Code. But forget the legal jargon. Think of it like a digital restraining order for your company's data. It lets us go to a judge and get an immediate court order to shut the leak down and stop anyone from using your secrets. This is step one, and it's absolutely critical. Now, while the legal stuff is getting started, the attorney explains that the M&A broker has to act instantly. They need to get on the phone with that buyer like yesterday. They warn them about the massive legal trouble they're in for breaking that NDA and demand they take the post down. And yeah, the buyer apologized and took it down, but the most important step is the last one. That buyer's name goes right onto the firm's internal blacklist. They will never get access to another confidential deal from them again. Period. So the post is gone. The immediate fire seems to be out. But the damage? Oh, the damage from a leak like this is so much bigger than just one LinkedIn post. Now the attorney has to walk the owner through the real cost of this breach. This chart just lays it out so clearly. The owner's worried about paying a lawyer, right? But the attorney puts it into perspective. Look, that bar for legal costs may be 20 grand. That seems like a lot, but compare it to the other bar, the potential drop in your company's value. When your competitors get your playbook and start poaching your customers, that number could easily top $1 million. So this isn't about spending 20 grand, it's about protecting $1 million. The owner gets it, but now their mind goes somewhere else. This is the human cost of the crisis. It's not just about the numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about the people who built this business with you. The trust you've earned with your team and your customers, it's suddenly hanging by a thread. How do you possibly manage that? The attorney explains that a leak like this kicks off a really dangerous domino effect. Your best employees, the ones who can get a job anywhere, they see the instability and they start updating their resumes. Productivity just tanks. And at the exact same time, your most loyal customers start hearing whispers. They get nervous about disruptions, and you can bet your competitors are already calling them, ready to swoop in. Every single domino that falls chips away at the very foundation of your company. To stop that panic before it starts, the attorney lays out the right way to communicate a sale. It is all about timing. Stage one, before you even go to market, you tell a tiny circle of senior managers and they all sign NDAs. Then, during the sale, it's strictly need to know, no exceptions. It's only right before the closing, in stage 3, that you get the official, reassuring message ready for the whole team. And stage 4, at the closing, that's when you make the big announcement. Following this timeline is how you maintain stability and trust. Okay, so the owner is starting to see the way forward, but they are still really shaken. And the conversation shifts. The owner asks, how could we have made sure this never, ever happened? And the attorney's answer is simple. You build a fortress before you go to war. And this is your first line of defense. Instead of just blasting your entire business plan out there, a real professional uses a blind teaser. It's just a simple one-page summary with no name on it. It gives just enough info, like the industry and revenue range, to get people interested, but it never says who you are. Only after a buyer shows interest, gets screened, and signs an ironclad NDA do they get any more information. Your company's identity stays secret. This one process filters out like 99% of the risk from the very beginning. But signing that NDA, that's not a golden ticket. It's just the start of what the attorney calls the vetting gauntlet. A good broker doesn't just collect signatures, they dig in. Do they actually have any experience in your industry? Are they just kicking the tires, trying to get free information? Or are they a serious buyer? And here's the big one. Do they actually have the money? This is where so many deals go wrong and where the liability can come right back to you, the owner. And proof of funds is not just someone telling you they have the money. The attorney would be adamant about seeing the paper. This slide shows you the bare minimum you should accept. We're talking a redacted bank statement, a formal letter of credit from a real bank, or a financial statement that's been verified by a CPA. Without this hard proof, you are literally handing over your company's deepest secrets to a total stranger based on nothing but their word. That is a risk you should never, ever take. So how did this document even get out? Almost certainly as a simple email attachment, a massive amateur mistake. The attorney would explain that your broker is responsible for using a secure communication stack. That means, at the very least, using encrypted email and password-protected files. But really, the gold standard is a secure virtual data room. This gives you total control over who sees what, and you can track everything they do. This isn't just to protect you from a clumsy buyer, it's to protect you from sophisticated hackers. So the owner asks, what kind of data are we even talking about protecting? The attorney would clarify that there are two totally different worlds of sensitive data. On the left is what your NDA with a buyer protects, your business secrets, right? Financials, customer lists. But on the right is all the stuff protected by California's tough privacy laws. We're talking about consumer info, social security numbers, biometric data, account logins. If that stuff gets breached, it's not just your deal that's in trouble. You could be facing huge government fines. Your broker has to be protecting both. The conversation closes by looking ahead. This whole disaster, the attorney explains, can't be wasted. It has to become a lesson. It has to be the catalyst for a whole new playbook for every M&A broker out there. First things first, damage control. Word gets around fast in any industry, so when your competitors start calling, asking questions, there's a script. You don't lie, but you sure don't confirm anything either. The perfect response? We're always exploring ways to grow and improve. It's polite, it's firm, and it gives them absolutely nothing. It just shuts the gossip down. Then the attorney really hammers home a critical point about California law. A lot of owners think a non-compete agreement they have with an employee will protect them. But in California, those things are basically unenforceable. So your non-disclosure agreement, that NDA, it isn't just another piece of paper. It is your primary legal shield. It has to be rock solid, and you have to be ready to enforce it. And finally, an incident like this has to trigger an immediate audit of how the broker does business. The attorney would insist on these three non-negotiable changes. Number one, mandate virtual data rooms. The days of emailing confidential plans are over. Number two, formalize how information is released. There needs to be a written protocol for what gets shared and when. And number three, implement a formal buyer blacklist. Anyone who acts unprofessionally gets barred from all future deals. This isn't just a good idea, it's essential. And so we end right here. Selling your business. It's the culmination of your entire life's work. The whole process is loaded with risk, and as we just saw, one careless mistake from someone you're supposed to trust can put the whole thing in danger. So the final question you really have to ask yourself is this: who are you trusting with the keys to your kingdom? Make sure they've built a fortress to keep them in.